Rebel Rogue.
Let's start building our command squad. Hopefully you'll have seen what tools you'll be needing. Clippers, blade, metal file, emery board and some polycement or superglue. Right, as I'm building a Renegade Command Squad, that's similar but it's still it's a command squad all the same. I'll be wanting to build, I'm going to build my commander first. Sorry, I'm a bit blurred, slurring my speech. I don't actually ever do. I've never done a scripted video, and this is no exception. So, right, our instructions are telling us to take this piece first. This first piece here is legs, and it's also telling us to take one of the three commander pieces. I'm going to go with this really nice one, which is shown on the board, on the standard thing. Just careful, remove with clippers. I have some bad practices like twizzling things. Get off the spring. Take these two pieces here, glue them together like so. But before we can do that, we must remove these bits of flashing, which is the edges of the sprue, and remove the mould lines. I'm having to stop looking. If this goes blurry or anything, I'm sorry. I have to look at what I'm doing, not through the lens of the camera. If I made a mess, I'd be slow to react, and then it would look even worse. So you've got the flashing off there. It's a bit of nasty, bigger flashing. Taking our blade to take this off. Getting that rid of that bit of brush. Taking our blade, just pressing down like so. Making sure it's nice and flat. This is one of my bad practices. It's a very useful practice though. Take removing flashing with a knife. I'm going to do these properly. Sorry if that goes blurry or not. Just trying to zoom in. And sorry again that I can't speak very well. This is narration exactly as you hear it, is exactly at the same time as I'm doing it. Any mistakes I make will be picked up by the audio, as it should be. Right, we've cleaned up our little man. I'm just going to bring the camera up. Cleaned up our little man, and then we'll need to glue them together. But first we're going to just take the back of our blade, so scrape along the mould line. Of course, if you've got lots of money, I really feel the need to purchase, focus, feel the need to purchase a Games Workshop mould line remover. You can do, even if you've got one of the Games Workshop modelling knives, it will be just as easy to use the back or even the blade, if you're careful, of one of them to remove your mould lines. Made a mess of that. Oh, come on, battery. Got my battery out. Sorry if it went wobbly. Sorry about slight wobble. I do like to have my work quite close to my face, and if it's off camera, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I don't really build miniatures very often, because I often get either single piece monopose sets, like Middle Earth. That was when I still do play Middle Earth, but when I get sets, they're usually monopose. never really done many 1,000 million piece models that aren't self-explanatory. So this and the Chaos Terminator Lord, this set and the Chaos Terminator Lord are the main ones, and I almost never remove bold lines, but I thought, oh, this is a long project, I want it to look nice at the end of it. Right, so now that we've removed our model pieces from the sprue, we can proceed to using this humble polycement just to glue our models. We're going to take our cement and we're just going to squeeze it on gently, using it. I should technically use it up. Up is good practice, but I often use it down. I've got poor practices. Put a bit of glue on there. Take our body. Just going to press them together. Should have test fitted it. I know, another bad practice. So it looks relatively in line. Right, there we are. We'll give that a bit of time to dry. So we'll move on to assembling a different figure. The veterans are all going to be exactly the same, so I'm only going to do one of them, show you one of them, and then I'm just going to do them all myself. Do the rest myself. I'm going to do the rest off camera. Of course, I'm going to do them all myself. They're my miniatures. Yes, those pieces are exactly the same. It's just me checking the pieces. So we're going to take one of these bodies, just clip it from the sprue, same way as we did do the commander. Tensors, man, tensors. Twizzle it round, bad, it's bad. Don't do that. Do not do that. It's bad. And then I'm going to take. Can't remember which one's which. So question: who do I want doing what? Oh no, I don't need to worry about that. Take this guy. I'll take the standard bearer's legs. I'll show you painting the standard bearer as well. Paint the standard bearer as an example. Standard bearer is a nice miniature. When I do the painting, I'll paint the commander and the standard bearer just as two separate examples, because they're both technically going to be different, because they're renegades. Right, you can use a file, of course, and file that off. It'll take forever. So I'm going to use the sort of bad technique, which is bad habit, rather than technique, not bad technique, not in the slightest bad technique, but cut the flashing off. It works wonders. Good sharp blade. Make sure your blade is sharp, otherwise it could slip and cut you. If it's too sharp, make sure you've got plenty of concentration. That's why this might not be on camera. But plenty of concentration. Concentrate. Don't cut up. Don't cut up towards yourself like I just nearly did. Remove the flashing. These very small parts. I could hold them with tweezers. I don't need to. I've got fingers of holding things. Could get one of those amazing assembly handles. Citadel assembly handles. Helping hand handles. No point though. Just another way of Games Workshop trying to get money off you. Make sure your actual piece is really close. You don't want air because it will slip. Tighten my blade. Make sure if you're using one of these blades, combination blade, make sure, changeable blade, make sure your blade's nice and tight and it's not slipping. This one is, but never mind. Right. Those are sorted like so. Either way. I'm just going to carefully move the mold lines. I'd do it with a knife anyway, just clenching and unclenching. There's a good Commissar Ganza video on that. People accuse me of using his knife unsafely. He just shows them how it's done. By the way, I don't get my technique from him. It's nothing to do with this channel, I just happened to mention it. Hope he appreciates the support. Yeah, trim the mould lines off. Removing mould lines is tedious, certainly on second-hand miniatures, so I don't do it on second-hand miniatures. These one look nice, do them properly, etc. Mould lines usually run quite simply. Oh no, legs. They do run in between the legs. Just to mention it. See, it's where the mould's been pressed together, so it can leave a little sealing sort of line. Doesn't happen on all miniatures. Well, no, it usually does. Plastic miniatures certainly. Metals, not so much. They've usually got other such flashing. Take the. They've usually got like sticks due to their moulding process. Quick fact for you: plastic miniatures are made in a metal mould, steel mould, used many times, more durable than another mould. Metal miniatures are made in a rubber mould, sort of latexy rubber mould, but that's besides the point. So that's our little body. Now that they're nice and smooth, make sure this joint's nice and smooth. Test fit it. It's good practice to test fit. Yep, that fits. Take my polycement again. I like polycement. It comes in a nice tube and it's pretty. Comes with all their fixed starter sets, so I've got tons of it. Don't go through much. Then you just like this. If it was an infantry squad, I might not bother with the mould lines, but as it's not, command squad, it should look nice. There we are. That's him all done. You see the cement. I'll do the others and I'll come back to move on to the next step. Now we've got our commander and, sorry, not the camera, standard bearers bodies assembled. I'm going to move on and add on the arms and head and other such things. Let's start with the commander. Just going to pop him to the side for the moment. Sorry about that, didn't have the sprue ready. So here we see we've got the commander's head. We could take any head we chose, but I'm going to go with that one because I like it most. I'm going to just keep the camera in focus and just clip his head off, like so. As usual, I'm just going to zoom the camera out a bit. Just chop the bits of it off. It's a very tiny little head. Knock any mould lines, any visible mould lines off. Although it doesn't really have any. You can put behind the ear, but they're very cleverly concealed, so I'm going to leave it like that. That's our head. Take our head, we're just going to test its fit there, and then get a bit of glue on it. Now I don't have coronavirus at the moment, don't have to worry about COVID at the moment. I haven't got it, I've just got a blocked throat. Just put a bit of glue on that, and sorry if I'm speaking really fast, I'm trying not to, but I'm just trying to think of things to say. Just want to glue our head in there. I never realised how nice these miniatures were. I've been putting off about getting these. Ages ago when I was getting into 40k, I was like, do I want to play Astra Militarum? And I think this is a very nice command set. That's his head. Same process for the other person. The other person's a standard bearer. Don't know which head to go for. question. I think I'll go for the standard one. Though he has got a weird thing hanging out of his mouth. And, oh yeah, he'd work as a sniper because he's got a covered eye. Yeah, I'll go with this guy. Chop his head off the sprue, not off him, but then we've got to be very careful because we don't want to take the strap off the bottom. That will be a disaster. No, we just want to not to do that. Crack out a file because this is very, very fine detail work. Needle file. File this thing off. Yeah, any of you who've got this set, you'll probably know that this is probably very difficult. I've never tried it before, so yeah, I mean, got his head off, and just take his body, test fit, test the fit first. Fits. If I can fit it straight. No, I don't like that head. No. Decided I don't like it. Now we're back with a new head. This little head here. All sorted. I really don't like that head. Test the fit. Yep, it's an alright fit. Just put a bit of glue in there. Use plastic glue, don't use no, use plastic cement rather than plastic glue, because plastic cement melts the parts slightly to fit them together. Yeah, looks like a tortoise, don't know why. His head slightly. Yeah, all sorted, very nice little miniature. For the commander's right arm, I'm going to use the plasma pistol. A, because it's the best pistol. B, it looks nice and is stronger than the last pistol. Not the camera again, I'm sorry. Don't cut with a knife, it's a bad idea to cut with a knife, you'll wreck the knife. Probably wreck your own arm. It's quite stiff. Right. Got the plasma pistol off. One disadvantage, if you're going to do YouTube, one disadvantage of using your phone is people send you messages. They don't go ping, but they pop up and block what you're doing. See, it's a very nice little pistol. Simple plasma pistol design. So if you've got Space Marines or pretty much anyone, you've seen it many times before. The thing with guard, their disadvantage for playing them is the fact that I don't know if the sergeants can take them, but if you play Chaos Space Marines, I'm not camera again, most of your people will be able to arm themselves with plasma pistols. I'm just going to raise this because I keep on knocking it. Which is quite good. A lot of them can take plasma pistols. If you play guard, you're far more limited. Especially if you want to take las pistols as well. Whereas if you play Chaos Marines, you've got everybody is armed with a bolt pistol, so everyone's armed with a pistol. Whereas with guard, everyone's armed with guns, it seems. I might go with a more relaxed commander for this. Right, I'm going to go with relaxed commander. Sorry, not camera again. Don't move space. My arm, boomer. Stop moving. Just had to sort that out. Sorry if you just saw random stuff. Yep. Just need to take that, be very, very careful with it, very gentle. Now, standard bearer, I've got to decide which standard I want. There's two. I could either take the big, boring flag thing, or I could take this little flag, which has got purity seal on it. The other one doesn't, but... And I do sort of want him... I don't know. I like the idea of the banner resting on the ground. So I'm probably going to take this one. Careful with the bendy bit, because it's just annoying. Take this big banner, even though it's got all this boring wing stuff, I can paint all sort of heretical things on it. Shame they don't do just a flat banner option. Let's swap the banner heads, if it was in an arm and a head, like they do with the Knights Dol Amroth, Forgeable Knights Dol Amroth. You get the stick and then you get the head, the top of the banner. Good if they did it with this, but they don't. Of course, if you're doing these are very much like Napoleonic flags, Napoleonic era flags, standards and banners. I don't like the word flag. I think it should always be a banner or a standard, regimental standard, but either which way. Anyway, that's that all cut out. I need to make sure I've got rid of the mould line. A lot of mould lines don't show after painting, but it's good to get rid of a few of them, at least. Right, that's sorted. We have our little banner. Of course, if you do this option, you will have to put a little thing on top, but we'll worry about that. I'll put that on later. And just glue on like so. Let's think about this, think about it. I realised it was actually so short, this banner. It's actually a pretty short banner. Short. I think it's short on the box, huh? Okay, so, like so. Just me mutterings. Glue. Just a little. Then make sure he's not going to hit his banner off the floor. Get the pole too much off the floor. Yeah. Sorted. I'll leave them to dry. I'll also put the heads and right arms on all the other bodies. Leave them to dry and then I'll come back and do the left arms. So, I've finished the other three models in the set, and now I've just got to finish these. I've got our commander with plasma pistol and 3 nice medals. Just have to put his arm on, and same with the standard bearer. So, for the commander, I don't entirely know which arm to go for. I'm thinking either the stick, probably not the chainsword, or the power sword. Don't like either of them very much. Yeah, they're the only options really. The stick or the swords. So, or I could have done the bandage, but I used it. So I'm going to use this stick because I think the stick's great. I really like the stick, and for the standard bearer, I'm going to go with the power sword, just because the robot arm is very nice. And what I want to criticise about this set is the fact you get either a robo arm and power sword, or a normal arm and chainsword. You don't get robo arm and chainsword, and you don't get normal arm and power sword. It's just one of those moments when it's just, you see, Games Workshop being very clever. Oh look, you can't have a power sword without a robo arm. So if you don't like the arm, you can't put the power sword on there. on anyone really. The whole thing with this set though, what's great about it is you get loads of spare parts that can then be used on your Imperial Guardsmen, your standard multi-part Guardsmen. So you might not get you might find a set on eBay second hand, or another second hand site, or in a store or something, and you don't need to worry about not having, I don't know, a heavy flamer or something, because it's on the sprue. Just chopped his stick down a bit. Don't know why I did that. Just happened to happen. Right. As usual, we'll just be using just weird glue. On there like so. There we are. Commander finished. Looks nice. Then the standard Renegade standard bearer. Don't know which standard he's gonna go for. I'm gonna go for with him. It's gonna be hard to get into that arm crevice. Glue in there, because I haven't really stuck it on very well. Glue in there. And glue. Just on there. If you get this set, you will see that you are told to put the bases on first, but I'm going to do them last. It's just the way I do things. So the commander, yeah, like so. I'm going to get 2 drops of glue onto his feet. Zoomed out a bit because it's easier for me to work and then you to see it. A bit too much glue. It's alright because it will go then. I'll stick onto the base like so. And the base for the standard bearer. Just handling him carefully because I've only just glued him. Only putting glue on the bits of the model that are actually going to touch the ground. So if you guys are running, put it on them but not on other parts. I'm going to hold him and I'll come back to do the others. Then for the rest of the models, we've got this guy with a melter gun, which I created using the bits. Chose with a melter gun, mainly because it's better than a plasma, even though on the box art it shows a plasma. The melter's actually a better gun, certainly against tanks. Yes, it doesn't do millions of damage, but it does d6 damage. But it's ridiculous strength. Then a Vox caster guy. I've used this, I think it's meant to be a bandage, but I've used it as a map. And I've got him kneeling down because I quite like the kneeling down pose. Don't really like the standing up pose so much. And then this final guy, this is technically a medic, but he's just going to be a guy with a las pistol. Just scratching my ear because my ears. Sorry for that. I'll try and edit that audio out. But yeah, it's a medic, meant to be. But I've just given him the commander's las pistol, the bandaged arm. I think it's quite a nice little pose. Mixing things up really personalises your army to what you want it to be, not what the box art tells you. Or like the medic's meant to be kneeling down, but I like this medic, and even I'm not technically allowed to have a medic in my force normally, so I just take that guy because he's nicer. So yeah, that's the whole command squad.